Welcome back to the Deep Dig Sports Pod. I'm your host, Drew, and I am not getting benched right now for my host over there.
What's up? It's Dee. I'm breathing down your neck. Nah. Be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe. Drop some comments below. Let us know your thoughts.
Because we're talking Bryce Young getting benched today for the Red Rocket. Andy Dalton, he's back. You can't get rid of this guy. You know he's going to get about 4 wins this year for the Panthers.
Did you just call him the Red Rocket? I'm
The
pretty
Red-
sure it's the Red Rifle.
It's the Red Rocket, right?
No, it's not. It's the Red Rifle, isn't it?
I'm looking at the wrong Google search right now.
Don't look up Red Rocket. Don't look
Red. I typed in
Don't
red. I typed in Red Rocket and then hit delete.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
Nickname is Red Rocket.
Is it Red? No, bullshit.
Oh no, it's Red Rifle.
Yeah, I know.
When I type in Andy Dalton nickname, the next Google says Red Rocket.
It's not. I promise you, it's not.
I don't know. You guys let us know. Is it Red Rocket or Red Rifle? I don't know what a Red Rocket is, but
Anywho's,
Bryce Young.
What are your thoughts? Like, first initial thoughts about the Panthers are already coming out and saying in week, what is it? It's barely the
Week
start
2.
of week 3.
Yeah.
You're benched.
It's crazy. Why not do this from the get-go? If you're feeling like in training camp he doesn't show you enough that you're confident in him to go 3, 4, 5 games into the regular season, like they had to have known before this, and it's just gotten so ugly that they've pulled the plug, and I don't see him coming back to them. Like, to say, oh no, we're just gonna sit him, let him refresh, let him learn. Like, what can he really learn from this Panthers team that is really bad? I mean, Andy Dalton's already there teaching him kind of how to be a pro. Like, I'm sure watching film, like how to take care of yourself, but like on the field, he's just going to see bad play.
This is not what serious franchises do. I mean, if we're going to be completely honest, I don't see Andy Dalton going in there and having success. So why are we going to do that? We're just hurting Bryce Young's confidence. And I knew, like, so after week 1, they had the press conference and they asked him where his confidence come from or where his confidence is at. And he said, my confidence is in Jesus. And people were like, oh no, it's week 1. And so it's like all the signs were pointing to him being benched, and like what they've done to this kid, it's horrible. They have not put anything around him. I seen that Ben Kurt, that fucking backup bullshit guy. He was like, look, the experiment's over, and he showed a play where the offensive line just got blown up and Bryce Young rolls out and is trying to make something happen. It's like, what else could he have done? No other quarterback is going to be doing anything else because the O-line is so like piss poor.
Yeah, and I think this is completely the owner making a decision. Did you see the head coach talking about this, where he's like, oh yeah, like we went and we talked to the people who make decisions, and I talked to everyone who would be like big decision makers, and they asked him, was this on the owner? And he's like, I'd like to keep that private, but this is my decision, and blah blah blah. And it's, bro,
yeah,
the Tepper definitely stepped in, like, because there's no head coach who's gonna say, oh yeah, there's a number 1 overall pick on my team. It's his second year, and I'm gonna pull him on week 2. Like, if you're a head coach, like, that's insane.
Yeah, and that's why they chose Canales as the head coach, because he wanted a guy that was just going to be a pawn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't do something like that unless you want to be the head coach by proxy, the head coach GM. And so it's a shit situation. And this is a guy that you knew you were going to need to do something that hadn't been done before. You know what I mean? Because of his small stature, but you've seen what he could do in the SEC. Like, and they made it successful, and he showed amazing flashes. That's why you chose him number 1. You've done nothing and built nothing around this guy. It's bullshit that you put him in this position, and it sucks that you're doing it this publicly and that it's so early on. And realistically, if you're a serious franchise, you leave him. If you think he's so piss poor and so bad, you leave him in there and you go for another number 1 overall pick. Or you let him play himself out of it. You let him work out the kinks. You let Dave Canales, hey, figure out how we can utilize Bryce Young and let's get after it. But to bench him after 2 games and be like, okay, we're going to move in a different direction, that just screens David Tepper.
Yeah, I think this is not really helpful for Bryce at all. Like, if anything, it's only helpful for Bryce that he's not going to get injured. Like,
Yeah.
I think he should definitely try to get out of here after this season, and who knows what he can become somewhere else, because this franchise, it's going to take a. I think David Tepper is like, in his mind, if we take a swing and get a good quarterback, we're going to be successful. And that's just not the case. Like, look at the Bears right now. They actually added pieces. They had a good defense and they got the quarterback, and they're still struggling. Like, you are a long ways from Chicago.
Yeah.
You have no talent left on this roster compared to the rest of the league. And you traded away your best players and you traded away draft picks for this one guy who wasn't like generationally talented. He's like the smallest guy in the league. He doesn't have a cannon for an arm. His main thing is accuracy. He's not accurate. And there are plays where he has a clean pocket and he's just holding the ball. Like he's not seeing it. And so you missed on this guy and you set him up for failure. And you're thinking, okay, let's just get rid of him right now. Like, Tepper has gotten shorter and shorter with his like pulling the trigger on things. Like, the further deep he gets into being the owner of a bad squad.
Yeah, it's crazy. He probably is a guy that listens to every single thing that comes out about Panthers and is like, okay, that's the problem. I'll go ahead and do that. You know what I mean? It's pretty ridiculous.
This should be like a week 10 move. This should be like a week 8 move.
Yeah, we've already been eliminated from the playoffs. Realistic, and then you could at least spin it some way. Hey, we've been eliminated from the playoffs. We don't want to hurt Bryce because we know he's our future, quote unquote, and we want to just get through the season. Like, you could just say that, and that would be fine. But to do it in this week 3, that doesn't make any sense.
I give it 3 weeks before they roll out Jack Plummer out there, who is their third quarterback on the practice squad, who looked good in the preseason. But I think Tepper's not going to be happy with Andy Dalton either because the team sucks. And then they're going to be like, well, this guy's a rookie. Like, let's throw him out there and see what he got. Like, you're going to see a bunch of Tepper throwing shit at the wall to try to find a quarterback. And it's just like, that's not the main issue here. The main issue is like, you don't know how to run a franchise.
Yeah.
And we'll end it there.